Now, the plan is, I don't use the term comprehensive plan because that means things to government staff that this doesn't necessarily mean. But it's certainly a land use plan. It's a transportation plan. It's an economic development plan. If we're going to have 65,000 people working in this area, we have to focus on the kinds of companies that we can attract that can go vertical, that can be located in office buildings and be a part of this community. To me, it's a livable cities plan, because I don't think that just empty nesters and just young professionals will live in this area, but I think families will live in this area. And I think parents that are concerned about the recreational opportunities that their children have will be attracted to the river and the parks and sidewalks and important civic places that will be in this greater downtown area. And I think most of all, it's a very visionary plan. It will take us places that we need help to get to. But I underscore, it is our plan. These are our policies. The projects, the specific projects that come out of it are our projects, and they help us identify our priorities so that the decisions that you make as a governing body on how to invest funds going forward in this area, you will know that that citizens came together and participated in developing the plan. It will, I believe, guide our work going forward. Now, we have made some presentations kind of under the radar. We made a presentation. The first was to the Visioning Board, the Greater Waco Chamber Board, the Waco Industrial Foundation, the Traditional Neighborhood Development Task Force, and the Waco Business League. We're making the presentation to Council today. I have briefed the executives of the Syntax African American Chamber and the Syntax Hispanic Chamber. And I believe that there is support from every one of these entities. Now, I think everybody wants to see more as we go forward, and I certainly expect that. But to date, we have been very pleased with the support that we have received. I think here is the key, that if this vision is as big and bold as we want it to be, thousands of people will be a part of the process. So we're not going to take that for granted. We are organizing an entity to be known as 1,000 Friends of Waco, and we will actively solicit, and I ask each of you to help us identify people who care about the future of our greater downtown area, to give us people that will be a part of the process. And together, all of us will be a part of 1,000 friends. Now, it's not limited to 1,000. It could be 2,000. It could be as many as we can get. The more that we can get, the better it will be. Now, the next steps are to secure the public and private funds for the process, to select our consultants, to continue to recruit the organizations and individuals to participate in the process, and then finally to be about our work. So I appreciate the opportunity to present the plan today, and I ask you to support the plan with your encouragement and your good words, and hopefully with your funding.
That's probably the key. We've got a big idea and we don't have money. So at some point, as I mentioned before, we're going to try to get several people to help us review the proposals that we get in on November by November the 28th. I would like for the council, if you wouldn't mind selecting one of your colleagues to serve on that with us as we review those. Because this is kind of at this point, this is not an entity itself. It's just several people have gotten together and started thinking about this in several groups and endorsed by the visioning board. But at some point, we're going to get a little feel on how much it's going to cost. And this is not going to be an easy one. It's not going to be a cheap one, because we're really talking about a lot of work, and it may be lengthy. These kind of processes go on for a while to do it right. And so once we know kind of what the overall amount's going to be, we would come back to the council and ask the council for support. We'll be asking businesses, we'll be asking foundations, anybody that's interested in the community and willing to participate. We're going to be trying to solicit the funds to pay for this project.
Okay.
So unless you have any questions, that's kind of where we are today. So we're just getting started.
Well, first, I think as far as a selection of somebody to serve, I think that we probably have 6 willing people. I think that probably what we need to do is be sure that all of us somehow to stay linked with this process because it's exciting, and I think we want to be certain that we're there. But Alice,
Could we see the map again of the concept of
What's downtown?
that circle? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And again, that's kind of a what I call a core. I really believe as we get our community together and start having a lot of focus, that without question can extend, it can shrink. I mean, it can do whatever the community wants us to do. I do think that all the river is absolutely critical, that we address those and what might can happen on the river. I've heard people, and I'll steal. Jim Hawkins said that it reminds him of a time back in the mid-'60s when a group of people got together and started thinking about the community and what we needed to be and started having some big ideas. And out of the big ideas came a town lake and a convention center and MCC. And I see us now 40 years later kind of at the same fork in the road and think about what we want to be. And I believe we'll come out with some fairly significant, in some cases almost unbelievable projects. But if we have the will, we can get those done. And then 40 years from now, people look back and think about what a good job, what kind of vision we had. And I think we just owe that to this city and to our community.
Mm-hmm.
We have good people. We have this 1,000 people. We have good staff. And I'm just wondering if our internal people, along with the chambers and the city, could help facilitate something that would not cost us as much as a consultant fee. We have a good document with the comprehensive plan that was done with volunteers. And I would just like to completely not discount our community and hopefully say that possibly we can use a lot of that manpower as opposed to spending a lot of money for a consultant. And I'm just playing that devil's advocate.
Sure, we always look at that, and I can tell you just the vision process probably stretched a lot of us from a staff standpoint because that was over and above, and we've got other jobs to do. We will spend a tremendous amount of from a city standpoint. We will spend a tremendous amount of staff time on this, even with the consultant. I think the chambers will too. I think at certain times, and I am, you've known me a long time, and anything we can do in-house, we do it in-house because that's just the way I am. But there are times, I believe, particularly on projects that we don't do a lot of. And this is really, in some sense, could be a once-in-a-lifetime project for many of us. I think you go out and you reach and you grab the people that have done this process before, that have the kind of expertise that don't do it for us, but assist us so that our staffs then can do those kind of creative thinkings of things that fit us. Because we're not looking to be anybody else. We're looking to be the best that Waco can be. And I really believe that if you start thinking about the magnitude of this, and whether, we don't know what this is going to cost, but let's say it costs several $100,000. When you look at that compared to $2, $3, $4 billion of investment over the next time, that's a pretty small cost. It seems big right now, but I think if you do it right, you get the best minds available. You get the absolute best people we have in the community in creative thinking, and you match those together, and you end up with a project that we'll all be very, very happy with. So this is the one time that I'll say this should not be a staff-driven process or a volunteer-driven process. It's going to be driven, but we need professional assistance on this one. And I think this money we spend will be well spent.